Good morning. You're listening to the Terrell and Sharon Show.
Good morning, good morning.
And this is 98.1 and 1220 AM, your hometown station, KHTS. So welcome, everyone. And Terrell, we have a special guest today.
A special guest indeed. It's a great day today, right? You're beaming. You're beaming. Yeah, why? Because our special guest today is none other than a family member of yours.
Yeah, I know a little bit about this guest that we have on today. Yeah. This is my son, my oldest son, Devin Bronson.
Devin Bronson. Come on, give it up for Devin Bronson. How's it going, Devin?
It's going well. I can actually hear you. I thought I had the rock and roll hearing.
Right on, man.
First called in.
Oh man, we're so glad to have you on the call with us here today. And you know, musician to musician, I'd like to jump in and ask you a couple questions. I always like to just go into those trade secrets with a guy like yourself. Is that good?
Go for it.
All right, on. So let me first off ask you, when did you get the bug? When did you get the bug? You wanted to be a musician. Like, how long ago was that?
Probably pretty early on. I'd say 11 or 12.
Oh,
and I just was interested in it. I know I didn't have the build to play sports, really, so I was like, what else am I going to do? And I picked up guitar. And then I didn't really take it seriously until about my first year of high school, and then I just really got deep into it, and it became my life.
Oh, yeah? What made you... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was a couple things. There was always a good record collection in the house and kind of discovering some bands from previous generations that were amazing, bands like Van Halen, Boston, Cheap Trick. I just got really into it, and then I kind of segued more into the hyper-progressive rock, acrobatic guitar players, guys like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and I became just a nerd, to put it plainly, where I would sit in my room for 6 hours a day. I had no social life, really, much to my mom's chagrin. I didn't go to school dances or football games, and I played in bands with guys that were a little older than me when I was in high school.
Okay.
And it was a very natural progression because I didn't know what I was going to do for a living, but I just kept at that. And then, it's been, 25 years later almost.
25 years later. Right? and
I still don't know what I'm doing, but it's much later.
That's kind of how it goes. You know, you mentioned your mom, and there's chagrin here. Was there a encouraging word that she or your dad may have given you, or you just kind of just...
They were both incredibly encouraging. Yeah, that was, I was very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
They both really encouraged me and came to shows when I played shows, and my mom bought me guitar lessons.
Right, nice.
So
Aldo Iannarelli.
Hopefully that's paying dividends. But they were both great. And my dad's a musician, and I think him and I could connect on that level.
That's cool.
He's a piano player.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I didn't feel like I was being yelled at to go to law school ever. I felt like they were very supportive of what I was passionate about.
Well, Devin, I remember when maybe it was your junior year, and I said, well, we need to start thinking about college for you, and what are you going to do, and where do you want to go? And I remember you saying to me that, well, I already know what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm doing. And I'm like, what are you doing? And you were like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going into music. And I was, from the path that I had taken, where it was just the expectation you go to college. And I know you went for a little bit, but definitely your passion was music, and that's what you were good at. And so, respecting that and having you excel in that way, just proud mom moments. So
I can't imagine what you were thinking. How dare you let me go do that?
Oh, and speaking of proud moments and excelling, we started talking about what got you going, but where did it take you? Like, did you do an audition, or what made you get into this professionally? Where
I think when you kind of get into the music business, you have an idea of what it is, and then you see kind of what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're two very different things. And
absolutely,
there are so many different paths for anyone in an artistic endeavor, but music and being a professional, deriving your living from it, there's so many different ways you can go. And the kind of hired gun thing for other artists or bands is something I didn't even know about. I assumed you write a song, you get in a band, that's the only one path. So when I was about 18, 19, and I was just running around Hollywood playing in bands, I had some opportunities come up to play guitar for other artists where you're the hired guy. They bring you in, the hired gun. And I've done that for numerous artists over the years. So that was something I did for, 15, 20 years. And I still do it occasionally, but
can you name them?
Yeah,
name some of them, Devin.
I've done it for, the first one was Kelly Osbourne, and then Avril Lavigne I worked with for many years. David Cook, who won American Idol, I've worked with.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just a laundry list of people where you kind of just like from one to the next, or you meet this person, this musician's doing this over here, and they need somebody. You kind of see the same circle of people doing a lot of these types of gigs, and you're on the road, and there's a festival show, and you see these people, and it's an interesting kind of side of the music business. I know they did a documentary about it that was on Netflix, which was kind of interesting about a lot of these guys, but yeah, it was pretty, interesting just how it happened. And I never could like connect the dots of like, oh, this led to this and this did that. But I guess when you look in hindsight, you can see, well, just kind of being out and playing with people.
Right. So I guess
you connect.
Yeah. So I guess like the question is if you'd never gotten out, like you said, Kelly Osbourne was your first. I mean, that's not a lot of people start at that level. Like, how did you end up with Kelly Osbourne first?
Well, I was playing in horrible bars and gigging around, schlepping gear and making $0 for a long time before that too. So that was just an opportunity that popped up, and it was a cattle call audition where you got hundreds of people, and it worked out for me. And I did that for a year, and then I joined a band up in Canada. I'd met some musicians up in Canada, and I joined a band up there. I moved to Toronto for a couple months to record a record, and it wasn't going well. It was going horribly. The thing was kind of falling apart, and the guy I was living with was neighbors with Avril Lavigne, and I'd met her before, and she called me and said, I need a guitar player to come out, and I need you to start in 2 weeks. So I jumped ship on that record. I said, bye guys, I'm leaving. And I went and did that. And that was an amazing gig because she was one of the biggest artists in the world at the time. And I did that for about 10 years. And from that one in particular, a lot of other opportunities start to pop up because she's at a level that's pretty big. And so you start to meet certain types of people, music directors in town, managers. Mm-hmm. And,
You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM. And we're on the phone with Devin Bronson, someone I know very well.
Devin Bronson.
He's a touring, recording musician, also writer, producer. And we're going to get into some of that other stuff. And Devin, I just wanted to piggyback on that. I remember when you called me from Toronto and you said, well, I'm coming back. And I'm like, what happened? And then you told me that you were going out with Avril, that she had called you, and you had her music, and you had 2 weeks to learn it. How did you do that so fast? What was your method of learning that music, her entire catalog, in such a short period of time?
Yeah, somebody just asked me this yesterday because I actually just did this for a band during COVID. I can't say who it was, but I got put on a retainer to learn their catalog in case one of their people got COVID and I would fly out, which was weird. I go, yeah, but I guess that's a real concern now. But I mean, I personally just have a system of how I do it. And I don't know if it works for everybody, but I don't use charts. I don't make notes. I have to learn it. I have to know it like the back of my hand. So I'll just take them kind of in chunks.
Is it by ear then?
I worked with these. Yeah, it's all by ear. And a lot of times with music, you have so many, there'll be 10 different parts, and you got to decide what is the part that makes the most sense. And that's just something you kind of learn playing live a lot. Something that's just more filler, you go, well, that's not going to matter. But here's the part that is you need to have in there because it's the hook musically, or it's going to add all the weight in the song. It's going to make it sound big and make it be impactful. So, yeah, I mean, I personally just have a system of kind of I learn 2 songs a day. And if I don't have as much time, I obviously will cram it into something a little tighter, but I'll think of it even as one piece of music, almost like a classical piece. That's how I'm learning it, is in sections.
No, I totally understand that. So I'm hearing 2 different things from your story here so far. First off, you got a lot of opportunities, but it sounds like to me you got those opportunities because you did go out there, you did do those no-paying gigs. I mean, you were present, in the industry, and if it wasn't for that, if you'd have stayed in your bedroom all that time and just getting really good at your guitar, chances are no one would have ever seen you. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, that's very accurate. And now you kind of have a flip side to that in the world we live in, where you have a lot of social media or YouTube people that have huge following. And in that regard, they're doing very well. And you'll sometimes have recording artists or bands go to that pool and say, well, that guy's a drummer that's got 5 million followers on YouTube and he posts these videos. Let's get that drummer to come out and play with us. And then sometimes what you learn is they've never done a show in their life and they freak out and they fall apart because they're used to being in their bedroom.
Absolutely.
And that's a different shop. And the second they're somewhere where something's not going 100% controlled their way, they don't have that skill. And I've seen it backfire a couple times with people. I've seen it work too, where they're incredibly talented and they come out and they rise to the occasion. But yeah, I think there's just something to like any craft, you're just out and working at it and getting better. And it's the horror gigs that don't go your way that kind of teach you the most.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you work in these situations that aren't perfect, and those prepare you for if you run into a distraction or something on the road, right? You can still perform at a high level.
I did a show with these DJs in Paraguay, and the stage caught fire. It was literally on fire. The scaffolding was burning to the ground, and I go, yeah, that's something you kind of just got to roll. The show's got to keep going on, but I also don't want this 30-foot piece of metal to fall on me.
Right. So I bet the crowd was like, yeah, really, that was part of the show.
If that had happened in America, there would be a panic and there'd be crews of people and fire departments. Over there, it was just a stagehand smoking a cigarette, looking at it. And I swear to you, he climbed up there with a little fire extinguisher, bare feet, just looking, no urgency. I go, things are different here.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Well, that's probably one of those road stories. Maybe I'm glad I didn't know.
It's amazing how many of those are just kind of I didn't even think about that till today. But I go, those are the things that, if you're just posting videos from your bedroom, you're probably not dealing with stuff like that.
Yeah, yes.
Or having to have stage presence, or having to learn how to get along with a group of people, or share a stage, or not be the front guy.
Yeah, I've always said, I get paid for the extra, for the 22 hours or 22 and a half hours a day I'm not on stage. That part of it's fun. The shows are fun. It's the 5 a.m. flights. It's the, long drives. It's the truck stops in the middle of nowhere. It's all of that stuff that's, I know it sounds like very first world problems I'm talking about, but yeah, sometimes, getting along with 12 other people that you're in a shared space with, those are the things I think for most musicians, they don't teach you in school, and it's the most important.
Yeah, totally.
And you can't get with a guitar lesson either.
Right.
That's probably the biggest question that I got about you being out on the road and gone and in other countries was how worried I was about you. Was I really worried about you? And for whatever reason, I really wasn't, because I felt like you were out with really good people that were watchful, and there was, tour managers, and like Sharon Osbourne was out with you guys a lot. And
I never told you what was going on.
And you did.
And you never will, probably.
It worked out perfect for both of us.
Yeah.
Will some of those go
Thank
to your
you.
grave? Will some of those stories go to your grave?
One day, my tell-all book. You'll learn everything.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
You'll get to get re-worried.
Oh wow. Yeah. So Devin, so you're out with Kelly Osbourne, and then you end up with Avril Lavigne. You do 10 years with her. I think you're getting a little older now, and you mentioned your mom mentioned songwriting. You find yourself doing some live shows, but you're also a songwriter.
Yeah, I had a pivot in like 2010, 2011, where I had been songwriting with recording artists, and I was signed to a publishing deal, and I saw a change in music, just in terms of the pop culture, where what I was doing felt a little antiquated. The guitar rock guy wasn't as prominent on the radio, and I wasn't good at the other thing. I wasn't good at the style of music I was hearing kind of dominating the airwaves. And so I had an opportunity to start doing some music for some different TV libraries. And I really liked it. And I started to just dive into that full time. So I could be on the road, like I'd be out on the road with Sebastian Bach, or I'd be out with David Cook, whoever. I'd come home, I'd have 3 weeks off, and I would just dive into my studio and start working on music. And it could be something blues rock or contemporary acoustic music. It could be any style, but I basically just could do it on my own, craft it in a way, and then put it out in the world for use on television, which is good for a few things. There's some notoriety that comes with it, but you also get paid. You also make money doing it as a songwriter because it's getting used. So I just grew that into now I have my own business that does this. I have my own company where we are big in the space for film trailers, television, and advertising. And
So
we
Devin,
do about
what are some of
10
the
releases? We do about 10 releases a year, and stylistically they range from, we do a lot of horror type stuff, and we've had placements and stuff like Halloween and other movies in that genre, down to like pop contemporary stuff that we've had stuff in Disney films. So that I really liked because it kept me home and it kept me busy, but it's just like, even from just a fulfillment of like, I really enjoy writing this type of music. Yeah, I mean, the list right here, I'm just pulling it up because my brain isn't as good now. We had music in the Dune trailer, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Escape Room, Halloween Kills, The Conjuring, Candyman, Fast 9, The Joker, Kitchen, It 2, and then so that's all a bunch of horror, and then we go down to Trolls and Onward. So it seems like we do
one and the same to me.
really deep horror, and then children's movies.
Right. Okay.
we're going to take a quick break, and Devin, we're going to come back and chat with you if you can stay on with us. You're listening
I'm
to
here.
Yeah,
Awesome,
hear some
thank
more
you.
music, yeah.
You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM.
You're listening to the Terrell and Sharon Show. I'm Terrell Edwards. Sharon Bronson next to me, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS, your hometown station. And we are still with
Mr. Devin Bronson.
Mr. Devin Bronson.
Guitarist extraordinaire.
Hearing that ambrosia made me want to pour a nice chilled Chardonnay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a little early, but
yes, a
it's
little
getting me
early.
in the mood.
Yeah.
A little early. Well, since you brought that up.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a great show. It's going to be at the Canyon Club. It's going to be a great show here in Santa Clarita, June 18th.
June 18th.
June 18th. And actually, Terrell...
I'm coming.
All right, right on, man.
I can't wait.
Terrell's actually going to be opening. He'll have a full band and
Awesome.
doing some covers and some originals as well. So
Yeah, we're looking
it's
forward
kind
to
of Terrell's Santa Clarita debut in a bigger way.
You've had a debut in Santa Clarita, right?
Yeah, I haven't been. I've played at the Canyon Club in Agora Hills, and then I think they also own the Saban Theater.
Yeah,
and I've played there. I played there with Sebastian Bach. We did a show a few years ago. I can't remember, but I haven't been to the Santa Clarita Canyon Club, but I like that venue a lot. If it's anything like the Agora Hills one, I like the layout of it, and the feel in there. They kind of, I think, made a better version of what the House of Blues was trying to do. It feels a little nicer.
it is nicer, and in I think a little bit smaller, and
Yeah.
So it is a really nice club that's out here in
Smaller
Santa
in a big
Clarita.
way. It's
What's that?
smaller in a big way.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Then the Agora Hills one, it's smaller than that one?
You know what? I'm trying to remember. It might be a little bit smaller than that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
only
I
been
mean,
out there a couple times.
I like the layout of those places.
Yeah.
I just think they're always nice. I've seen photos from shows at the Canyon Club in Valencia, and it looks really nice.
It is nice. It's new and nice. It's a nice club. So it'll be a really fun show in June. So there's several of the original members that are in Ambrosia, and actually we're going to be able to have them. We're going to interview a couple of those original members, getting closer to the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a couple of them on and talk to them as well. So Devin,
Awesome.
who did you play with at the Canyon Club? I think you were in high school, weren't you?
I was in high school.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
a band called Neo that I was in, and somebody that worked with us was in charge of maybe booking that venue. So he used to put us on opening for The Fix was the first band, Berlin, and there's one other I'm blanking on, but those were always really fun shows. Like I said, like that was it was cool, kind of like, having the genres kind of meld of like a current newer artist that's coming up with an act from the 80s or late 70s. I just always liked that because it kind of exposes you to a different crowd, and you get to see also these acts that, this era of recording in the studio, the era of like late 70s, early 80s, Ambrosia, Christopher Cross, Steely Dan, like I'm lumping them all into where it was just kind of this golden era of studio recordings and sonics and real songwriting. So I love seeing those acts.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? We've got a song. Don't we have a song here, Andrew, would like to play for the people? Play for me.
An Ambrosia song?
Listen to that snare drum.
Ambrosia song. Oh, this is Ambrosia.
You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 and 98.1 FM, KHTS. We're on the phone today. Terrell Edwards and I are on the phone today with Mr. Devin Bronson. And, Devin, that song, I was just saying that I saw Ambrosia in 1980, I believe it was.
1980.
In Montana. So they've been out and about for quite a while, and their songs are timeless.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why they're able to do that.
Yeah, I'm still listening to this one. I'm like loving those vocals, man, and with the arrangements they did there. Devin, you mentioned the snare drum.
So who are some of you?
I mean, that is a tell. The song. When you can have a career and people are still coming out to see you that many years later, it does tell you the songwriting can be timeless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Terrell, who were some of your influences
Oh, well,
in the music business?
I mean, it's usually those singers and songwriters like Lionel Richie. I mean, he's probably one of the biggest for me. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross was such an incredible singer that
Yeah.
they didn't recognize that he was writing a lot of those songs himself. So that's kind of the vein I fall in. But then, I had a very eclectic, following of music, and Chicago was big for me. I love Chicago, and I love those harmonies they put together. And how about you, Devin? You got any who were your influences?
Yeah, those are good. Those are good ones. I think Van Halen as a guitar player was the biggest one. I know that's cliche, but it's just so obvious when you hear what Eddie Van Halen did. And you can listen to their first record, which came out in '78, and it still sounds like something from the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big one. My dad took me to see Cheap Trick when I was 15, and that ripped my head off, and I just loved them, and I've been a fan of theirs forever. And that's another group that they're on the road 200 days a year doing shows constantly, and they sound better than ever.
Wow.
And talk about a singer that doesn't get enough credit, Robin Zander from Cheap Trick. His voice is so powerful. Wow. And then I think songwriting-wise, another group I just love that doesn't get mentioned enough is Depeche Mode for songwriting. And that sounds so odd because as a guitar player, they had no guitar in their music, but I just thought the ability to make pop music with kind of dark melodies was interesting. None of it sounded really too happy. I mean, some of their early stuff did, but the later stuff they did on like the Violator record, it was all the melodies were very dark, but it was still a pop record. It was so those three bands, if I had to just like pick, knowing I'm going to listen to that album front to back, those would be it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, you know what? I want to say something. I got a chance to see some of your performances on YouTube. Man, your stage performance is incredible, man. I enjoyed that, watching you with David Cook on one particular.
I'm just loud. I mean, I don't know if it's good. It's just very loud.
No, it was good. I remember. I think I know the one you're talking about. It was good.
I played a show at the Greek Theater one time, and if you've been to that venue, they have a decibel limit. I think it's 95 dB. Like the shows are fairly quiet compared to other concerts because you are in a residential area. There are multi-million-dollar homes all around there, so they got to be respectful of the neighbors.
Right.
And I remember they have somebody with a decibel meter at the front of house console, and we did a sound check, and in 2 minutes he came up to me screaming. He's like, "We don't even have the PA on, and you're louder than you're allowed to be in this venue." Whoa, sorry about that.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, my hearing's not grateful for it now, but yeah, but thank you. That's nice. No, David was an amazing guy to work with. He's another I think because he came out of the American Idol machine.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few people that do that and then can kind of really hold on to the career, because I think people just move on to the next one, and they maybe put you in a box, like, here's what you're supposed to be. But as a rock singer, he's one of the best. And I think, Chris Daughtry in their mind had kind of taken the rock role, like, quote unquote, he's going to be the rock guy. And then David, we're going to have stylistically be like this. But when you hear his songwriting, it leans more rock, and he really is good at that. And he's out of, what I know about a lot of those people. I mean, David was the guy in a van, touring in bars, schlepping around. Like he wasn't in musical theater and then just showed up one day and then was on TV. He was like a guy really working it. So he's somebody that doesn't get enough credit, but I mean, he still works all the time and has his following, that see him every time he plays in town, like very loyal fan base, and well-deserved.
Cool.
And an all-around nice guy.
Seems like it.
He's
very
a good
nice guy. Yeah.
Devin, I always love talking to you.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's good.
Oh, well, I mean, I've enjoyed talking to you tremendously. And
yeah, it's nice to chat with you finally. I look forward to seeing you play.
Thank you, man. And hopefully we can get together and, pin something together one of these days.
Oh,
Who
that'd be
knows?
fun to see you two do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. Say hi to Jessica for me, please. And
I sure will.
Okay. And thanks so much for staying on the line with us and chatting with us about the music business, because I think people are really intrigued about what really goes on. What we think we know about it, it's a lot more than that. And even, having, watched you excel in your career, I'm still learning what things happen in that industry.
She's beaming over here right now. Just let me tell you.
Oh, that's very
Proud
nice.
mama.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But
So-
yeah, I mean, it's coming out of COVID, it was very weird for everybody. This industry was hit the hardest. But I can say I've been to a few shows. I'm seeing the tours that are coming up, and the excitement and the demand for this is bigger than ever. And the shows, everyone I've been to has been really fun. The energy's been great because people are excited again. They haven't maybe been to a show in a long time, and they forgot how fun it was. So, yeah, I'm optimistic about all that. So, well, yeah, thank you. It was fun chatting with you both.
All right, Devin.
We'll talk soon. Devin
All right.
Bronson, thank you.
Thank you.
And you're listening to the Terrell and Sharon Show at 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we are here again. We got another special guest.
Very special.
Hey, how about the owner of the radio station? How about that?
Carl Goldman, what are you up to today? And you've got a big event going on this weekend over at Central Park.
We do, and I'm right in the heart of Central Park right now as we're setting up the giant tents and hundreds of booths for the Home and Garden Show, the KHTS Home and Garden Show and Emergency Expo. And the fun starts tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock to 5, Sunday, 10 to 4. And Sharon, it's free of charge, our favorite thing.
Nice.
Free is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember
So
you
I've been
doing what? Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, this is the 11th annual, which has taken place now 3 years in a row since COVID stopped it down in 2020, 2021, and now it's so good to be back again.
Mm-hmm.
We are just setting up tents, setting everything up, getting vendors set up, and all of us are singing your new song, Terrell.
Oh, is that
We're
right?
humming it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
100%? Is
Yeah.
that the one you're doing?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. It's
Well, you-
really been going through our heads. And I'm so excited that you are going to be performing it at the Canyon Club come June, along with one of my favorite groups, Ambrosia.
Oh, I'm excited as well, but it's one of those things I've been looking forward to doing for a long time here now.
Yep, really exciting. But here we've got so much going on, and you know what, Sharon and Terrell, it's something for everybody. We've got family stuff. Right now, they just pulled in with the butterfly exhibit. That's a giant tent filled up with hundreds of butterflies.
Oh, nice.
And
Wow.
everybody gets a free feeding stick, walks in, and the butterflies get to eat off of that. I'm watching Gilchrist Farms set up right now for their petting zoo and pony rides. So much going on right now with spas getting set up. If you're a
Holy
homeowner,
smokes.
it's a fabulous opportunity to come and just check out all the local vendors that have products, everything from inside the home to outside the home. And then finally, we have a special craft fair with over 100 crafters.
Oh, wow.
And Sharon, I won't tease you with the fact that we've got a dozen food trucks, including
Oh, what?
Cinnabon.
Oh, Cinnabon, yes.
Cinnabon
Oh,
trucks.
man.
You and I will be racing to that, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, I never met a Cinnabon I didn't like. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the Cinnabon truck there, and they're right by Reyes Winery, where we're going to have wine tasting. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can munch on a Cinnabon and drink
Some
some
wine.
great wine,
So we
courtesy of Reyes.
literally got something for the whole family. I mean, from the little ones up to even grandma.
And
Yeah,
Carl,
and then
the
the other
fire
cool
trucks,
thing-
too. There's trucks
Yeah,
that
the
the kids
KHTS
can...
fire
okay.
truck, 1948 fire truck. Well, we have a whole emergency expo going on. So fire department will be here, sheriff, CHP. And on Saturday at 1:30, we do the Jaws of Life demonstration. And if you've never seen that,
Wow.
it's worth the
Absolutely.
admission, which is free. But what it is in fact, where they just drove a car in that looks great shape, although we did spray paint it a little bit with the KHTS logo. And then the firefighters at 1:30 will demonstrate what happens during a collision on the freeway if they have to pull someone out of the car, and they literally tear the car apart. So you watch them tear the doors down. By the time they're finished, the entire car is dismantled.
Wow.
But it's really amazing to see, and a great educational experience to watch how they participate with it. And the cool thing is, the car was donated by Freeway Towing, and the firefighters use it with their rookies as an opportunity to get some practice on.
That's great.
Carl, how many vendors do you have out there this year?
We have about 450 vendors.
Oh, my goodness.
We're expecting probably about the same size as 2019 show, about 20,000 people coming. And the cool thing is that most are Santa Clarita homeowners. It's really a valley-wide event. We don't draw that much from outside the area. And we focus mostly with the vendors on vendors that are in the area and have been here for a long time. So you can really, really communicate and trust and learn something and talk to somebody who's going to be also here in Santa Clarita.
Well, man, I think the whole city should show up here this weekend. There's something for everyone. And the butterflies.
Without a doubt. And we're back in the, it's over in Central Park, which is right off Bouquet. And we're in the back field over by the dog park.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch all the different dog owners today coming in and getting their dogs a little bit of exercise, but they're stopping by to find out what's going on here since all the activity is taking place. But as I said, it's a great opportunity. We've got full info at scvhomeshow.com. That's scvhomeshow.com. And you guys will race you to the Cinnabon truck, right?
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, Carl.
Carl, thank you.
Right,
let me ask you really quickly. Terrell had this idea for a song for his upcoming show with Ambrosia, that he opens for with Ambrosia, and that he wants to do a Chicago song, You're the Inspiration. And he thought about getting a local person to sing that along with him.
Yeah, I need help on that one.
And what do you think about that? If people submit just a short tape?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite songs, and there's so much talent here in Santa Clarita. What a great opportunity for somebody to showcase their talent with Terrell, who I think is one of the most talented singers out there.
Oh man, and thank you so much. And all they have to do is just send in the video to Jerry. Yeah.
Jerry at hometownstation.com. Yeah, it doesn't even need to be the whole song.
Don't even be the whole song, And
iPhone
is perfect, and man, send that in, and we'd love to see it. I mean, we're getting some good response right now, but let's get some more in there.
You know what? Let's Carl, thank you so much, and thank you for putting on this show. I know it's a ton of work for you guys, and I know the community appreciates it.
Thank you for giving me the time to share some info on it.
Absolutely. We'll see you out there this weekend.
Take care. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, guys.
Let's wrap it up with a song, hey?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
All right.